For decades, African countries showed up to global meetings with one expectation: to receive loans, aids, and support packages. But right now, something great is changing in the history of Africa. On the 8th of July 2026, inside the headquarters of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, a different kind of conversation took place. Conversation that had to do with what can we do with our resources now. This is Africa becoming great. Welcome to Solid Finance Podcast, where we bring you finance and economic updates of things that are happening in Africa and the world at large. Let's dive right in. The African Union is a body that brings together 55 African countries under one platform, where they discuss about the economic growth, about the trade, about the security, and about the development of every African country. Whenever officials gather, they go there to discuss how they can take Africa as a continent to a better place. And this time around in the meeting, the tone has changed and the focus has shifted. According to the African Union Commission newspapers, the discussion of this meeting is centered around basic needs of the continent. The key discussion areas where this training is going to focus on is introduction to carbon markets and their relevance for Africa. The second point is policy and regulatory framework for carbon markets. The third point is opportunities and challenge for Africa in carbon markets, including investment and market integrity. The fourth one is leveraging Africa's natural assets and community benefit sharing. The next one is case studies and success stories from African Carbon Market Initiative. And the last one is high-level panel, Africa's strategic position in global carbon markets. Africa is now thinking of how they can take their resources to a greater height and how this is going to benefit every single community. Because tell me why a country like Nigeria should have a lot of oil and then we're not making great profit from it. If it was to get fuel bank and then be like, oh, since we cannot do exchange rate with our naira because our naira is actually weak, we can use our fuel as a means of exchange. We can go back to trade by barter, just like what Ghana is trying to do. Africa's course is changing because for many years, African countries depended on foreign bodies to help them, to give them loans, and then to just be waiting for little support from these other countries. The tricky thing is that all this support and all this loans came with dangerous and risky consequences. Consequences like rising debt, policy conditions, and limited control of our economic direction. The real eye-opener to how critical things were in Africa came during COVID-19. Now, in COVID-19, we could see that once the whole world halted, Africa as a whole also halted because funding dries up. All our developmental plans stalls. Like, that means without these people, we are nothing. And we've given them that leverage for a very long time. Meanwhile, we're supposed to have advanced by this point. And because of that, this has led all African leaders to deep thoughts. The message is coming out clear. Africa is not rejecting the other parts of the world or rejecting their business. We must become partners, and the deals that we're making must be 50-50. This new model is a challenge to the global supply because this will affect how the whole world sees Africa. The goal is very simple: produce more within Africa, process it also in Africa, and then we can split our gain 50-50. Now, this brings us to a very interesting point. This meeting that is being held in Addis Ababa, there are already signs that these things are already happening because Ghana has increased the value for their gold. Nigeria now has a working refinery, which is a plus for them. Kenya is trying to balance the relationship between China and the Western powers. Zimbabwe is pushing for locally processed lithium, and Namibia is not left out. They're also pushing for local participation in major investments for Namibia. This sounds very easy with the mouth, but then we all know that it's not going to be a very easy thing. Most of the African leaders are just looking into the political aspects of it. They're like, what can we gain from this deal? What can we not gain from this deal? They don't even really think about what the common man would benefit from this deal. But the way Africa is now going, I think that Africa is getting to a better place where every single African is going to matter. For Africa to win this race, they have to be very disciplined, united, and very strategic. The world is watching, and don't forget, a new Africa means the change in global supplies. As we await the outcome of this meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, we applaud new African leaders for taking the bold step for Africa. Africa as a whole is no longer asking the whole world to come and save it. Rather, they are asking them to come and partner with them, not to be a master to Africa. We are the ones that own the resources, and as such, we should have the leverage. I would like to hear your opinion. Do you think this is the beginning of a new Africa? Or have we heard these promises before and then They just feel the world to like, the world to share. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents like this. Until next time, for now,